The first day you take Sand Nubuck engineer boots out of the box, you feel like you made a mistake. They're too clean. They don't look rugged. They look like a desert mirage. Velvety, light, almost vulnerable. Sand Nubuck's different. It's a long game. A light leather exposed dust, illegal transfer, road grace, remarks, and everyday scuffs. So stick around, because today I'm showing you what happens when you stop trying to protect from life, and why this leather doesn't just get old. It changes character in a way you can't fake. Before we get into the wear, let me show you what we're actually looking at here. This is Sand Nubuck. Nubuck's green side leather that's slightly sanded to reach a fun nap. That sanding creates a short, tight surface with soft velvety feel. And the nap is what makes Nubuck age differently. A lot of smooth leathers you see on boots are heavily finished, pigmented, coated. The color and the clean look sits on top like a controlled layer. Nubuck isn't like that. It's more open, more reactive. Not unprotected, but definitely not sealed the way heavily coated leather is. So the moment you start wearing it, the surface begins to record everything. Denim rubbing against the shaft, hands pulling the boots on, the toe brushing a curb, a splash from one sidewalk. This leather doesn't just wear, it responds. And that's why the first 90 days matter, because this is when the surface goes from factory velvet to your environment. The first couple of weeks are honestly the hardest. Every tiny mark shows up easily because the leather is so light. A drop of coffee, a few raindrops, a little denim transfer from your jeans. Suddenly it feels like the whole boot is ruined. And my first instinct was to fix it. Brush it, rub it, try to make the nap look even again. But here's what I learned pretty quickly. If you overbrush too early, you can disturb the surface before the wear has a chance to blend together. And sometimes that look worse than the original mark. So in that shock phase, the rule is simple. Brush lightly when the nap looks flattened, but don't chase every mark too aggressively, because the leather is about to enter the next stage, where those early accidents stop looking random and start becoming part of the pattern. Week 3 to 8 is when Sand Nubuck stops looking factory new. This is when the engineer boot silhouette begins to take over. Look at the ankle rolls. They start forming quickly and they get deeper with wear. And the nap begins to change in the areas that see the most friction. You'll notice certain zones become smoother and slightly shiny. The toe box, the heel counter, the outer ankle. All the spots that take the most wear over time. That's burnishing, is basically friction pressing the nap down and tightening the surface. And this is the moment the transformation starts. Because once those areas burnish, the boot stops looking like a uniform sound velvet. It starts looking like a map of how you move. Now we start seeing it. Darker valley in the folds where dust settles. Smoother, shinier panels where the nap has been pressed down. That's when Sand Nubuck starts looking three-dimensional. The leather suddenly has real depths. At this stage, you either go with it or you fight it. Around week 9, something starts to shift. You start noticing every little mark. The surface just begins to even out. The original sun color slowly warms up. It starts leaning toward honey tobacco. Sometimes even a muted messed up tone, depending on sunlight and your environment. This is where the real difference between dirty and patina starts to show. In the first months, marks feel random. Small spots, little scuffs, and patches that feel a bit scattered. But by around day 90, those same marks begin to relate to each other. Dust, denim wrap, hand oils, tiny scarves all start settling in the same surface. Instead of standing out, they begin blending in. And once that happens, the boots look more put together. They feel like they are aging naturally. But that process isn't random. There are a few things quietly shaping how this leather changes. Sand Nubuck naturally warms up with sunlight and time. When the leather is new, the color looks pale and slightly chalky, a little dry looking, like the surface is absorbing light instead of reflecting it. But after weeks of real wear and sunlight, the tone starts to change. The pale sand slowly deepens. It begins leaning toward a warm honey tone, sometimes even a soft tobacco shade, depending on how much sand the boots got. And the interesting part is that it doesn't happen evenly. The toe and the wamp usually warm first, because they catch the most light. The shaft and the quarters often stay lighter for a while, which creates a subtle contrast across the boot. So instead of one flat color, the leather starts showing real depths. If you wear raw denim with Sand Nubuck, indigo transfer shows up pretty quickly. After a few wears, you'll usually start noticing faint blue marks near the top of the shaft, where the denim keeps rubbing against the leather. At first it's subtle, just a light blue haze sitting on the surface, but over time that area slowly darkens, so the shaft starts picking up blue from the denim, while the vamp and midfoot stay warmer from sunlight and wear. And that layered look is what makes Sand Nubuck so interesting. The third thing is simple wear. Dust, the small scuffs, and everyday contact leave their marks on the leather. At first, these marks can look messy. A darker spot here, a thin rub there. But as the boots keep getting worn, those marks stop looking random. High contact areas like the toe, the outer edge of the vamp, and the heel start darkening first. Other areas stay lighter, so the boots begin showing clear wear patterns. Now let's talk about shape. Most of vintage-style engineer boots use a semi-structured toe. That means the toe has some internal support, but it's not completely rigid. So as the leather breaks in, the toe box can still settle slightly over time. After a few months of wear, you can start to see where the shape is going. That stiff new boot posture starts to fade. The silhouette begins looking more natural, more vintage. You also start noticing the toe spring more clearly, because the leather is no longer resisting a stretch. And by 3 months, you can already see how you walk in the boot. The way the shaft slumps slightly, the heel starting to wear in the pattern, the direction the ankle wants to crease. It's not fully formed yet, but the signature is already there. So after 90 days, I can say this. I didn't expect Sand Nubuck to change this much, this fast. I thought I spent the whole time stressing about keeping them clean. Instead, I realized that boots start looking better the moment you stop trying to freeze it in day one. The first month is hardest, because every mark feels loud. But by day 90, the leather starts blending those marks into something more unified. So here's my question for you. What's your favorite leather to watch age over time? Teak or horsehide rough out on your back? What's your pick? Drop it in the comments. And if you're brushing your Sand Nubuck every night in panic, put the brush down. Or don't. It's your story.